Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
Hello and welcome to the show. This is your host, JC Soto. Today we have the owner of AIMA Digital Marketing and the founder of Entrepreneur of Success, Sara Khoudary. Welcome to the show, Sara.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here, JC.
Can you tell us about Entrepreneurs of Success and how you're helping your clients?
Absolutely. So Entrepreneurs of Success was founded on re-envisioning what mentorship is in the capacity of entrepreneurship. So in Entrepreneurs of Success, my goal, the mission, is to connect entrepreneurs with leaders in the industry and really give them access and resources to support them in their journey of entrepreneurship. So in doing that, I connect up with a lot of leaders here throughout different industries of entrepreneurship and really engage with them and find ways in which I can get them to make themselves available with opportunities to connect with the community of Entrepreneurs of Success, and really sharing their expertise in a capacity of mentorship.
You know, recently I was reading Inc. magazine, and it talks about how our feeling of not being worthy blocks everything good coming our way. Do you find that that's the case with a lot of the entrepreneurs and business owners that you talk to?
Absolutely. You know, it's that imposter syndrome, right? So many of us face that. And when it comes to worthiness, what I've learned over the years, it's in both an internal thing and an external thing that we experience. And it continues to surface at every level of success. So even through Entrepreneurs of Success, and when I'm interviewing some of these top leaders out there, everyone faces this relationship to worthiness, that imposter syndrome of who am I to be able to share my expertise and the wisdom and the knowledge that I've known, because we're always in a state of comparison, it seems. And worthiness, when you start coming into a place of really recognizing your gifts and that every single person has a message and there's always somebody on the other end that is waiting to receive that message from you, that I've found over time that in entrepreneurship, that aligning worthiness changes and shifts as you grow. Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense. So are there some misconceptions that you find out about feeling worthy and going after your goals and achieving your goals and receiving all the good that's coming your way? I know in my case, in the beginning, I was also dealing with that concept of being worthy and being visible and receiving all the good stuff that was coming. I don't know from your case if that's been your experience, but if that's the way that it happened, I would like to hear from your life experience. Also, if you have any examples from people that you've been dealing with from some of your clients.
Oh, yes, absolutely. So my own story, part of my own story in going on this journey, as you know, this year, the theme for the organization centers around worthiness to be wealthy. That, we'll get into it a little bit of the show that I've put on. But where it all stems from, or has stemmed from for me, is my own personal journey in entrepreneurship in each level of success that I've stepped up through. In the beginning, I had that big lesson, right? The big lesson was I got into a partnership with an individual who was a girlfriend, and we went on this path to this journey of a business that in the end failed. In the end failed so much that where I didn't believe I had financial investment in there, I became very responsible for a high amount of financing that put me into debt, such debt that I had to go into bankruptcy. So at that point and early on in my entrepreneur journey, I was like, oh no, I'm not worthy to be successful. I'm not worthy to be a business owner. This isn't going to work out. Even though in my gut, there was that calling that it was like, what is this? What is this journey for me? Of worth, it was that worthiness was surfacing of this ingrained of I'm not worthy. These things are going to happen to me. I'm always going to be in debt. I'm never going to have the money. Nobody's going to ever see me as being in my brilliance, or nobody's going to ever see me as this business owner of this expert that knows what she's doing because she hit bankruptcy. Right. Okay. And that was very, very early on. And it was actually a gift at the same time, because in it, I got to see beyond that, because I put that on myself, right? I put those messages in myself, and I beat myself up and everything. And I didn't think I was worthy because I wasn't smart enough. I wasn't like the experts as far as I was concerned. But in the end, having learned that lesson and continued to grow, the more that lesson was a blessing for me to see, oh, yes, you are. And how resilient I was to be able to go forward, and how really I got to see where that worthiness was for me to tap into, to be able to make the shifts for me to grow and grow exponentially over the years to follow.
I see. So how do you help your clients now to break through that barrier?
Well, part of what I do on the digital marketing side is we position at people's authority, right? And worthiness comes up. Like, Sara, you're helping me get out there, stand in front of the crowd, let my voice be heard, let me share my expertise. And of course, that imposter syndrome comes forward on many of us, where you're sitting there and you're saying, who am I to be saying this? Who am I to be able to share this? But again, coming back to that messaging of, there's somebody out there waiting for your message. And yes, there may be somebody sharing a similar message to you, but nobody can deliver it in the manner you do. And you have such knowledge, and the delivery of your knowledge is like no other, right? Everybody's unique in how they share their knowledge. So by getting you out there and knowing that there's that one, at least that one person, or that one group waiting to hear the message delivered in the way you do, is how I help my clients get through and past that, for them to keep going, because there's like this worthiness surfaces of, oh my gosh, who am I to say this? There's people that are higher than me, higher level, higher experts. But to know that, there's an audience out there waiting for you, and you need to get your message out to them.
And, I agree with you 100%. And I believe it was J. Abraham that stated that we have a moral obligation. We have a product or service that's going to help someone to solve a problem. We have an obligation to make sure that person knows about it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, all these people that I've been interviewing, all these experts I've been interviewing recently on my latest show, that is one of the core messages. It's almost selfish for us not to share who we are and what we have and the gifts to offer others. And we have all these gifts, these talents, that it's selfish for us to keep it hidden, behind the curtain. And it's time to come forward, and it's time to shine and make it available.
That's right. Do you have an example of someone that was stuck and you helping through and kind of was able to see their worthiness at the end?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I have several different stories with several different clients. One of which, I will say, an individual who left the real estate market, running under, some of these commercial brokerages, and she chose to step out and step back on her own, right? And when she started, she's like, what am I doing? What am I doing leaving? What am I doing? Who do I think I am to have my own boutique real estate brokerage and compete against the big guys? And we're now going on 6 years together, but in the 6 years that we've worked together, we positioned her in a place that she was seen as an authority, was able to grow and now competes against many of these companies for local market. And she focuses on luxury market, 55 plus. And never in her dreams does she think, and there's times she still goes, who am I to be this person right now? But we've grown her so much that, she has, she's seen as an authority in the industry. She's known as being one of the top most knowledgeable people locally. And she got an Oprah magazine and Entrepreneur magazine featured articles on her. So it's like you have your brilliance and you have a dream. And even if it looks unattainable, it can happen. It takes time, doesn't happen overnight. But when you're consistently sharing your message, it falls on the ears that want to hear it or need to hear it. It was pretty incredible with her because it was like, at first she had this big vision, this big dream. And then as she got into it, realized, wow, what am I up against? But then it's happened, right? We're here.
Yeah, and it's astonishing when you see someone to break out like that, right? When you see them coming from being so afraid to show up, and then all of a sudden they just feel comfortable within themselves.
Yeah, and I have several stories like that. Like I even have a tax resolution expert, same thing. Who am I to go up against these big corporate organizations that have it have the bigger budgets, are able to really, get themselves in? Same thing. We've been able to position her where she competes now. And, it's everybody has a message to deliver and it's getting out there, right? It's getting yourself out there. Stop being the person hiding behind the curtain of Oz. You are brilliant. It's time to come forward.
It's time to come forward. So what are the fears that they have before they hire a coach to help them show up in the world?
It's that value argument, the money. Money tends to be the biggest fear that comes forward with people on where they think that they are worth investing in. And one of the big things I work with my clients on is just from my own story. When I chose to invest in me, amazing things happened. And I took risks, right? Playing it safe is not safe. Playing it safe actually keeps you in normalcy and keeps you stagnant and doesn't stretch you. You should always have almost that edge to you. If you don't have an edge, then there's nowhere for growth. So when they come to me and they're like so stricken by fear of taking that risk of the unknown, that's the big one we work with. And a lot of times it's surfaced around the money and understanding when you invest in you, wherever you choose to start, it will always deliver. It will always deliver because you can only go forward. Other fears is actually being seen is a huge one of going, oh my gosh, I'm actually going to be seen. How do I handle judgments, critiques, other people's opinions coming at me? And, as one of the speakers today, Michelle Ross, that I just adore, said, she has her own story of people coming at her when she got vocal. But the key is focusing on that you're delivering to the message to the person that does need to hear it despite all the other noise. And just keep going forward. So those are probably the two biggest fears that people have. I would say fear of growth, like that it's actually going to work. It's an interesting one.
Fear of success.
Fear of success is incredible. We all want it. And then when you start seeing it happen, and that's where I say get a coach. One of the biggest things you can do for yourself on whatever entrepreneur journey you're going on is get yourself the right coaches aligned with you and the coaches that are stretching, not your girlfriend. I'm going to say that, not your girlfriend or your buddy next door. It is get yourself with a coach that almost makes you intimidated to think of working with them. And that's huge to help process that fear. That I don't want to call it fear of success. I want to call it the adjustment to success, right?
That sounds good. Sounds good. So you need someone that will challenge you, that will hold you accountable for what you're capable of achieving.
Yeah. And, one of the biggest shifts that even happened in my business was lining that up. For years, I was like, oh, I don't need a coach. I don't need somebody to tell me what to do. I don't need this. I know what I'm doing. The whole lone wolfing thing. If you are that person, I'm just going to tell you myself from being experienced, being that person, it held me up for years. When I reached out and got the support systems in place, and let me tell you, they were a stretch. And I now work with 4 coaches at this point in my life. It is phenomenal on how it can help and grow your business and make you step out. So what I mean when I say make a coach that's a stretch is the one thing that many entrepreneurs do that I notice is you find your community and you actually match yourself up with a coach who's at the same level of business as you. So really, they're almost growing at the same time you're growing, and that's neutral. Neither of you are going to grow to the place you want to go the fastest. So that's why it's always reach higher. Reach for that person that is so much more successful than you, and reach out.
Look for that person that's already been there that can show you the way.
Exactly. And there, in the world of coaching, there's a lot of amazing people that are still learning too, but just be wise that you're not finding somebody that's at the same level as you.
Yeah. Any
Definitely
other tips?
Go for that higher success and go for the 10 times. Like one thing I love is I love walking in a room where I feel inadequate. If I don't walk in a room, and I know that sounds weird, that's that worthiness piece. As I actually like to walk in the room where I feel like the people are so higher above from me, because I know it's going to make me stretch. If I walk in the room where I feel like I'm on top of the world in that group, I know I'm in the wrong group.
That's really important. When you go to like a networking event and you know that you can learn something from these people they're so much farther ahead, you're at the right place.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like that worthiness piece, comes up, that little voice in you that says, I shouldn't be in this room. That's when you should be,
Yeah, I agree.
The second your little voice is saying, these people are a higher caliber of me, then you're in the right place.
Yeah, that's what you should be aiming to be at that level. That's your goal. Before we leave the coaching tips, you have anything else about finding a good coach? Any other suggestions?
Research your coaches. I've had my share. Really get an idea of what their value systems are, who they are, what they represent, and interview them. And I know that sounds crazy, but you have every right as an entrepreneur to take the time to interview and really get an idea of who you are choosing to work with. And take that time, research them, find other people that have worked with them. I'll tell you, one of my favorite people I work with, I ignored how many people came to me and said I should work with Gary Barnes. And I said, oh, I don't know. I don't even know who Gary Barnes is. But let me tell you this, having someone like a Gary Barnes as a coach at the time of my life he's come in, it's been phenomenal. And it took me time to vet him, right? I took some time to vet him, which on the flip side, you'll learn many coaches are vetting you as well to see whether or not you're a fit. So take that time to really find out who you want, what your goals are, and who's going to align most with them.
That's good. That's an endorsement for Gary Barnes, and I second that too, because I support and I agree with what you said. So that's one of the main factors that you have to look when you look for a coach. You have to find somebody that really has your interests at heart. It's not only about the money; it's about helping you move ahead.
Absolutely. And like I said, I have 4 coaches. I'm a marketing agency. I have a marketing agency coach, right? I have who I call my tough love coach. My tough love coach stretches me to the point it is so uncomfortable, but I need that. I have a grounding coach, and I have another coach that helps me with a couple other things because I have different aspects of goals in my business of where I want to be. And not saying everybody needs 4 coaches, but you all need at least the one to get you to the next level and just determine what is that next level for you.
Yes. Do you have maybe a couple of steps that you can give our listeners on how to get going into the path of feeling worthy? Maybe 2 or 3 steps that you can just say, well, start by doing this and then this, and then just get going this way.
All right. So one I would absolutely say is choose positivity. Choose to change the way you self-talk. So tell yourself you're brilliant every day. Acknowledge that you know what you're doing and that you have something to share with the people around you. Celebrate the wins is the next one. That's something I never did. And we're talking the small wins. So like somebody I was talking to recently says she celebrates when she doesn't spill her coffee on her white shirt.
That's
right.
Good.
Like it fills you with that positivity, and just get yourself into that positivity, because as you know, when you start focusing on the negative, you kind of fall into that vortex and it's hard to pull yourself up. But in the end, remember, we all have the power of choice. So in your worthiness, choose to see where you have gifts that are absolutely worth other people learning about and getting to know you, and acknowledge them in yourself. So let's see. So that's positivity, acknowledging your worthiness, and I had one and it went out of my head for a second. Hold on. Acknowledge the big wins for sure. And keep stretching. Give yourself a goal of a stretch, be it one a day, something that you wouldn't normally do or you may hesitate doing. Stretch yourself to do that. So if there's that one phone call to that client, stretch yourself to make that call. If there's somebody on your mind, stretch and make that reach. If there's a Facebook Live you want to do and you're just too intimidated to get in front of everybody, stretch and do a quick tip. So by stretching yourself each day, and they don't have to be huge stretches, and then acknowledging the win that you did it will be huge.
I agree 100%. I think once we stretch and we keep building on that, it makes it a lot easier than just keep that negative talk going all the time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And choosing, you acknowledge and make a choice, because you all get to choose the mood you are in. You can choose to stay in the vortex or you can choose to shine.
Great. Now, you talked about your experience before, and that propelled you to help people with their worthiness feelings. Is anything else that started a spark for you to become a coach?
It kind of fell in place with me, honestly. In the work that I do in helping individuals grow, right, and be known and build their authority and get their message out there, the more that people fell into place of needing that support and that person behind you to tell you you're making a difference, you're doing that. So in having a coach work through those worthiness issues with you as you continue to grow is huge. And to continue to acknowledge that, yeah, you may have had these experiences in your life, but remember they're your past and they don't define your future. And always look to the future, that every day is an opportunity for you to go forward and grow and expand your worthiness and open you up to receive worthiness. Because again, it's an internal, external thing. And when you are opening yourself up and expanding and reaching, that's when things fall in place for you more and more. Not to say that there's going to be those voices struggling with you that you're going to struggle with. Again, as I said at the beginning of this, there's always a level of success and growth. And with that comes an acknowledgement of your worthiness, or a little peekaboo of a challenge in your worthiness. And just keep lifting yourself up and going, because everybody faces this.
Everybody faces that challenge. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Now, you're also the host of the Worthy to be Wealthy online show.
Yes. Yes.
Tell us about that, please.
Well, the Worthy to be Wealthy online show focuses on three key things. We're talking about entrepreneurs and how to manage your monies, manage your mindset, and manage your marketing. Because there's three core pieces that I've found in my journey of entrepreneurship that you got to work through all of them in growing your worthiness. So that's why we put the program together is, helping people really crush it, really be able to be prepared, know the things, have the tools in place to be able to deal with each one of these stages of growth you go through, right? It's a continuous evolution, a continuous growth. So the Worthy to be Wealthy show, I reached out globally to leaders that focus on all three of these categories and bring it forward for entrepreneurs to step into their own success with some really fabulous tools.
Is this free or there's a charge for the content?
Right now, through the end of August, it's free to get in. We have 24 experts that have come in and shared their stories, shared their secrets, their secret sauce, and given actionable tools to be able to start moving into different phases of your business depending on where you are. So it's open to all entrepreneurs of all types to come in and take advantage of, I exposed the audience to people that you have to pay lots of times, several $1,000s just to have a seat in their rooms to get their trainings. And they so generously have given anywhere from a half an hour to almost an hour of their time sharing with the audience to help guide them along on their path to success.
And this is all content. There's no sales. There's no pitching. There's just valuable, great, clean content, right?
Yes, every speaker, not one speaker, no sales being made in that community. And the community is growing something even bigger because Entrepreneurs of Success is a movement in itself, and it's a mission to be able to connect entrepreneurs with these leaders and really provide opportunities to get the exposure and to really learn at a level and an opportunity of a level that doesn't come around all the time. This will close, in August and become a paid product for people to get in. It will turn into that. But for everybody coming in right now, you have 24 experts just sharing completely and utterly giving to the community.
Fantastic. And how do they go about registering and getting the content and getting access and all that?
Just visit worthytobewealthy.com. And right there, you'll see a video just sharing a little bit about my story and the purpose of the program. And just put your name in there and you'll get access to everyone in the show. So while the show is running, you'll be able to hear from just a huge variety of speakers.
Okay. So that's worthytobewealthy.co or .com?
.com you can do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. And that will be available free until the middle of next month of August?
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Yes. We'll have it free for people to come in all the way until the end of the show. And then come September, access, it will be paid access to get into the show because it's such incredible high value content.
And this is a balance of all, like you said, all three pillars of the challenges that entrepreneurs face every day, right?
Absolutely.
Your sales, marketing, and all that.
Yep. So it's managing your money. And managing your money is everywhere from, where are you pricing your money? Where are you selling your value to where to invest, where to put your retirement, right, as an entrepreneur, because all of those are there. On the mindset, we have space. We have some brilliant motivational speakers and individuals that really give you tools to work your mindset and how to manage that. And then on the marketing side, we have everything. We have everything from LinkedIn experts to sales experts to different marketing aspects. We have how to become best-selling authors. There's just a plethora of information all around.
Now, something I noticed is that these are real experts. These are not just people that call themselves experts. They're people that have a track record. These are really business owners that have been around for a while.
Yes,
Is that right?
these are all, the majority of these people are making millions that are in the show. The majority that have been there have, over their professional span, there's multiple millions. There's one in particular who went from welfare to multimillionaire. The stories are phenomenal. And yes, these are top experts that when I say that you're getting high value content for free, I am not kidding. You're getting access to high value content because these individuals charge a whole lot of money for you to be able to get a seat at their table.
That's right. And on top of that, they're giving free downloads at the end of the shows, right?
Yes. If you choose to take advantage of their offerings, that's where it is. They're giving you actionable steps that they teach in their private trainings or private courses. They're making that accessible to the viewers.
Sounds great. So do you have any last minute advice for our listeners?
The journey of entrepreneurship is a journey that you want with community. So one of the biggest things I'd say is make sure you continue to find that community, reach out, and don't lone wolf. Get those support systems, your coaches in place, and really trust in the process and trust in you that you are going to surround yourself with the people that are going to help propel you forward and being a great success. So I invite everybody to join our Entrepreneurs of Success community. And by doing that is to join the Worthy to Be Wealthy show right now. And we'll just continue to put those type of platforms and opportunities in front of you.
Sara, thank you. Appreciate you taking the time to share with us all this great knowledge about feeling worthy. And the links to Sara's website and to the online shows is going to be just below this recording. I want to thank you, everybody, for listening in. And again, Sara, thank you.
Thank you. And thank you so much for this opportunity to be able to share with your listeners, JC.
Thank you. I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.